Welcome back to Belfield on Broadway. We're here at the Lincoln Center, which is just a little bit north of Broadway, and it's a place where they do things properly because they've got a lot of money and a lot of talent, and I'm delighted to introduce you to Laura Osnes. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
And here we are at South Pacific in the ballet room. Never done an interview in a ballet room before.
I know I haven't. I've had rehearsal here and my auditions were here, but no, I've never done an interview.
Oh, really? So this must take you back to a very worrying place where you wondered, am I good enough?
Very much so. I had my second audition in this room, which was for the Rodgers and Hammerstein Association, in fact. So the daughters, Alice and Mary of Rodgers and Hammerstein, were in this room, and I had to sing 3 songs for them and do scenes, and it was crazy.
Before we get on and talk about South Pacific, how does it feel when you have people judging you day in and day out, and just on the fact you're not tall enough, or your hair's the wrong colour, or the wrong length, or your nose is too big, or your eyes are too blonde, or something ridiculous, they can say goodbye?
Exactly. I mean, it's a tough business. I think you know that going into it, and luckily, most people, and me especially, you love it enough to move past that, and you learn not to take things personally, and then every now and again the right door opens and you get an amazing opportunity like South Pacific, and you go, okay, all of that rejection was completely worth it for this show, for this moment.
Congratulations on the production, firstly, and congratulations on being you, because you do this so well. It seems as if this was created for you because you're gorgeous and talented and sing like a bird, yet at the same time you're classy yet mischievous and a bit naughty. It's a really clever role to play, isn't it?
Oh, goodness, thank you. First of all, yes, Nellie is extremely complex, and It's such an honor to get to play her and go on her journey every night, because she starts as, I think, kind of naive and young, and yes, that kind of naughty and, ooh, who's this older, sexy Frenchman, and oh, I wonder how that could work out. And then she really kind of learns her lesson. She's kind of put in her place that love is really the most important thing, and she tries to let all of these other things come in between it. In the end, she grows up a little and has to mature and learn that love is what's most important. It's
an intimate theatre by other Broadway standards. We really get up close and personal with you. That's nice for us, but it must be kind of intimidating a little bit for you.
It is. The Lincoln Center is a very unique stage. I think it's the only one on Broadway that is a thrust stage, which means it kind of goes out into the audience. It's not a typical proscenium stage. And there are just over 1,000 seats, so which kind of seems like a lot, but the people who are close to the stage in the first few rows are literally 3 feet away from us. And it is a little intimidating, but I've learned to look through them. I never look at people in the audience. It does kind of weird me out. So I tend to kind of stare through people or look above people's heads.
Tell you what was really tremendous was the opening of the orchestra and hearing such magnificent talent playing really wonderful music. And you don't get that very often in a theatre, such a big orchestra. That must be a real thrill for you to have them behind you.
Absolutely. The overture is about 6 minutes long, and we're lucky enough to have a 30-piece orchestra playing beneath us, and the stage does something really incredible where the whole floor of the stage backs up during the overture and reveals the orchestra, which is incredible. It's just, 1 minute into the show, the audience is already applauding just during the overture, and it is completely a thrill to have the support of such a full sound and strings, and we have a harp, and it just it creates a very magical thing, especially with Rodgers and Hammerstein music. It's so unbelievable to get to set foot on that stage and feel the light hit your face. And again, the overture has just finished, and we get to tell the story afresh for a new pair, 1,000 new pairs of eyes every day, and we have to just remember that they paid full price as the people who saw it a year and a half ago, and we get to give them the same show and tell that same story. So, and that's the joy of live theater, is that it's never quite the same. You always kind of get to play, and things are constantly evolving, and you're always challenging each other to go a little further.
We're back with Laura Osnes here on your favourite local radio station with Belfield on Broadway with the overture to South Pacific, which really sets the mood for this show because it is beautifully written, isn't it?
Oh, it's gorgeous. Rodgers and Hammerstein, it's classic, and I really feel like with the revival, they did it right.
And when we look at your career, we've got Grease, we've got Pride and Prejudice. Nothing really like this. I mean, going from Sandy and Grease to this is quite a step, isn't it?
Yes, in fact. And that's why, in fact, when I first auditioned for this, I thought it was such a long shot because I became known as Sandy, the girl in high school, and I feel like Nellie is... although she has a youthful side to her, I feel like she's much more sophisticated, and I feel really blessed that they saw something in me that believed that I could do this.
So that was my next question. Why you? Why you sat here and not the 3 million other girls that auditioned for it?
I don't know. I went through 4 auditions, so it was a very long process. I had work sessions with the director and, like I said before, sang for the Rodgers and Hammerstein Association. And then my final callback was to read with Paolo Schott, who was playing Emile at the time. And they wanted to make sure the pair worked, I guess, and I'm eternally grateful. I couldn't have asked for a better next step after Grease. The show has really been a wonderful challenge and has really caused me to grow a lot as a person and as a performer.
I think as a show, I don't know whether you will agree with this, but this is my take on it. It's in a totally different league. I mean, the orchestration, the music, the words, the set is just beautiful with South Pacific. Grease is just fun, and there's nothing wrong with a bit of that every now and again.
Right. Grease was a party every night. It was a 2-hour party, and this is like a 3-hour epic journey. Where it has been a good acting lesson for me, and I do feel like I've grown a lot, and it is definitely that next step. It's classy, and not only is the show classy, but Lincoln Center is classy, and they've done a really beautiful job at putting on this show to its fullest, I think.
Were you born singing? Because it just seems so effortless to you. And when I see you on that stage with the pin focus, just making you look so nice with all those beautiful colours around you and all the cast for the show, you just seem to do it so easily. How much of a challenge are these songs?
Nice, thank you. Rodgers and Hammerstein, the music, for me, although it's a lot of singing in the show, it's kind of easy to sing. I mean, not that it's easy, of course, there's always technique and everything that goes into it, but it all sits in a very lovely place in my voice. I'm not having to shout songs and belt my face off, and I'm also not singing really high operatic things. It's just kind of a nice, legit sound, which I think is also very enjoyable for the audience to hear. So I think part of that comes in the writing of the music and with the orchestra, of course. It's so fun to sing with. But I did start singing when I was young. My mom always tells the story that I got one of those Fisher-Price tape recorders when I was 2 years old for Christmas, and it had the microphone on the side, and I used to carry that around with me everywhere. So I've been singing since about when I could talk.
You were born to do this. We're going to end with your favourite song in this show. Which one is it?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I really do like Wonderful Guy, but Honey Bun is kind of super fun, getting to play with the guys. But although Wash That Man is really great, too, because I get to, play with soap on stage and wash my hair. It's pretty crazy.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because there you are, semi-naked, in front of all of us, perving over you. No, I don't mean that. I mean looking at you. And you've literally got to shower on stage. How did that become normal? How many shows was it before you actually felt this is okay?
I think it took at least, this isn't very long, but I think it took at least a week to kind of realize. But the scariest was the very first time I ever got in there with my hair wet and everything. And that was actually just with the stage manager and the dance captain and my hairdresser. And that was just, so I could just do it for myself, no audience, no nothing, and figure out the soap and what it felt like. But it is a little nerve-wracking. I'm in a bathing suit on stage, and like I said, the front row is 3 feet away. So, it's motivation to kind of stay in shape, and luckily, the costumes are flattering, and I'm covered, you know what I mean? I feel safe out there now, but and all the girls are in swimsuits with me, so I'm not like I'm the only one. But yeah, it kind of takes a lot to take a shower on stage.
This New York is full of great restaurants. Do you have to be careful on indulging on the buffets and things like that? Because, you as a clinically obese person isn't going to work, is it?
No, especially not in this role. But I do have a little bit of a sweet tooth, and I enjoy baking, so, I do always kind of have to keep that in check. But luckily, I'm afraid for when my metabolism slows down. Luckily, I can still, I try to watch what I eat, but I don't have to worry too much about it yet. There will be a day soon when I will.
I'll tell you what went through my mind was the fact you need microphones in these shows to be heard at the back. And I thought, God, you're not going to electrocute yourself, are you?
No. A lot of people ask about that, too. I wear 2 microphones on my body, and they're special waterproof microphones, new technology that has been developed. And they're totally fine. There's a towel after the song that I use to dab them in case they've been waterlogged, and occasionally the mic people have to come in after that scene and blow them out if they've been flooded.
All the joys of show business. Listen, congratulations on being you. I thought the show was tremendous, but your performance was so beautiful and everything it should be, and you're delicious and talented, and good luck in the future. Laura Osnes is the big star as Nellie in South Pacific. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course, it's such a pleasure. Thank you.